Hi, I'm Dr. Jen Harrison from drjenniferharrison.com, and today I want to take you through an EFT tapping meditation to help you deal with grief. Grief is a complicated emotion, and grieving is a multi-layered process. In fact, I wrote a chapter about it in my book called Grief, the Final Frontier, because most people don't know quite how to process grief or to reach out to those who are grieving. And it's important to appreciate that grief can result from any type of loss. It could be the ending of a relationship, it could be having your best friend move away, or maybe you move away. It could be a change in job, or having the company you work for bought out by someone else so that work just doesn't feel familiar anymore. And of course, it can be because someone you loved has passed. That's the type of grief that I want to address in this EFT tapping meditation today. A few months ago, one of my very, very dear friends, we've been friends for almost 29 years, she passed from health complications after having a third surgery for cancer. And then, a month after she passed, another friend of mine passed very unexpectedly from a previously unknown heart condition. And it was a huge shock because he was relatively young, he was very active, and it was really heartbreaking because he left his lovely wife and a young family behind, who I'm also friends with. Now, it's not my first rodeo in dealing with grief. Both my parents have passed, favorite aunts and uncles, as well as friends, acquaintances, and even longtime patients. However, what was new for me this time was having two friends pass only 1 month apart. I went through a grief program, many years ago when my mom passed. And of course, as a stress and body-mind health expert, I have many tools at my disposal, which I've used. However, EFT really helped me to deal with this double dose of grief that I experienced. And that's why I wanted to create this EFT tapping meditation for you. If you're not familiar with EFT or emotional freedom techniques, then I invite you to go to the website link that I provided for you below, or if you're watching this on YouTube, or above if you're watching this on my website. It'll take you to my How to Do EFT page, and that explains what EFT is, and there's a video there showing you how to do EFT, specifically the basic recipe. Okay, before we begin, I want you to identify the intensity of your grief on a scale of 0 to 10. Remember, this is your SUD rating, or subjective units of distress rating, and whatever that number is, it's subjective. It's whatever you feel it is, and just write down the intensity of your grief, or the SUD rating. Write it down on a piece of paper. The next thing that I want you to do is I want you to tune into your body to where you're feeling the grief. It could be in your chest, over your heart, it could be in your stomach, it could be anywhere. Just make a note of it. And as I take you through this EFT tapping meditation, you can just follow along with me and repeat what I say out loud, or you can just repeat it silently to yourself. Okay, let's begin. So we're going to start on the karate chop point. Even though I'm feeling all this grief, my grief is at a level, whatever your SUD rating is. Even though I feel all this grief, I deeply and completely accept myself and how I feel. Even though I'm feeling all this grief, I feel it in my body. Even though I'm feeling all this grief, I deeply and completely accept myself and how I feel. Top of the head, all this grief. Eyebrow points, I feel so sad. I just miss them so much. Under the eye. I feel all this grief. Under the nose. I am so sad. Chin point. All the sadness. Collarbone points. All this grief. Under the arm. I feel all this grief. Top of the head. I feel so sad. Eyebrow point. I miss them so much. Side of the eye. Oh, my life is just not the same. Under the eye. I just miss them so much. Under the nose. I wish I could pick up the phone and call them. Chin point, but I can't do that anymore. Collarbone points. I am so sad. And under the arm, all this grief. Okay, and take a nice deep breath in and out. Now I want you to tune in again and rate the intensity of your grief now and see, has it gone down a couple of points? Maybe it's resolved quite a bit. Maybe you started at a 7 and now it's down to a 3, or maybe it's only gone down 1 point. Whatever it is, that's fine. Just make a note of it and we'll do another round of tapping. So we'll start on the karate chop point. Even though I'm still feeling this grief, I just miss them so much. Even though I'm feeling all this grief, I deeply and completely accept myself and how I feel. Even though I feel so sad, I deeply and completely accept myself and how I feel. Top of the head. All this grief. Eyebrow point. It's so heavy. Side of the eye. It's exhausting. Under the eye. I just miss them so much. Under the nose. I feel the grief in my body. Chin point. I ache. Collarbone points. All this grief. Under the arm. All this grief. Top of the head. This grief is exhausting. Eyebrow point. It's heartbreaking. Side of the eye. My life has changed forever. Under the eye. All this grief. Under the nose. All this grief I feel in my body. All this sadness. This grief is so heavy. Under the arm. This grief is exhausting. Okay. Now take another nice deep breath in and out. And again, take note of the intensity of your grief now compared to before. If it's resolved down to a 0, that's great, you're done. If there's still some grief lingering, I'm going to do one more round of tapping with you. Starting on the karate chop point. Even though I'm still feeling this grief, I miss them so much. Even though I feel this grief in my body, I deeply and completely accept myself and how I feel. Even though I feel all this grief, I feel it in my body. Even though I feel all this grief, I deeply and completely accept myself and how I feel. Top of the head. All this grief. Eyebrow point. I can't believe they're gone. All this sadness. Under the eye. All this grief. Under the nose. But I wonder if it's possible, chin point, to focus on gratitude, collarbone point, for having this person in my life. Under the arm. for the good times and the bad times. I wonder if I can just feel gratitude. Eyebrow point. But how can I feel gratitude when I feel all this grief? Side of the eye. It's going to take some time. But I know I can start to feel better now. Chin point. I can start to feel maybe just a little bit lighter. I can start to process this grief. Grief is a journey. And take another nice deep breath in and out. Again, rate the intensity of your grief and also tune into your body. Does it feel different than when we started? Remember, grief is a journey, and if you're really struggling with grief, or it's just been overwhelming for you, reach out to a grief counselor, or maybe see your family doctor and get referred to a grief counseling group. There's lots of grief groups, and there's also grief counselors and psychologists who specialize in helping people overcome grief and to process through that. And of course, EFT is a very powerful tool for that, and so I hope this EFT meditation will help you deal with your grief. Now, if you found this video helpful, be sure to like it, share it with a friend who may need it, and subscribe to my YouTube channel for more videos like this one. For additional resources to help you go from your stressed self to your best self, head on over to my website, drjenniferharrison.com. It's free to join. You'll get 6 amazing bonuses when you do, plus access to over 100 articles and videos. Remember, making a positive change starts with one step in the right direction. Thanks for watching.